Watch party.
Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits.
And good morning. It's still Friday. And if you're just waking up, you are a lazy bum.
Not necessarily. It's only 9 o'clock.
Okay. I like being live.
It's different, huh?
It's a lot of fun. This is Johnny Rooster, your host with the Morning Mouth. And sitting alongside me is Pastor Matt and the new guy.
Jeff with a G.
He's not even new.
He's
New to you.
He's Jeff with a G.
Yeah, he's you might know that him from his other show on Wednesdays called Open Ended with Peggy Lee and Jeff with a G.
Jeff with a G. Well, I'm Johnny Rooster. I'm your host, and what we do on the Morning Mouth is talk about things that you won't hear anywhere else.
Yeah, you're right. He's just way louder than us.
Well, hey, you know what? But when I'm listening to this broadcast, I only hear your voice. You're loud one.
Actually really.
I may be loud, but you are distinct.
Well, I think it's the sound of my. Your voice is your
My
microphone's
voice
actually
is
a
not
little louder
quiet,
than mine.
but some of my guests' voices are a little bit hard to understand. I can't be understood. I feel so misunderstood. I wish that I don't drink coffee and I don't drink caffeine.
Probably a good thing.
This kid at MSU offered me a Monster drink yesterday, and I said, no, I just got to say no. I have too much energy. I don't need that. So, guys, what we're talking about today is
True story.
door-to-door salesman.
True stories of the door-to-door salesman.
The only reason they're true is because they happen to me, because I am the door-to-door salesman. You see, back in the day, I was trained as a newspaper journalist, and then when newspapers went out the door,
Oh, man,
about
that
the
smells
year
funny.
2000, the internet showed up. A little thing. Have you heard of a little thing called the internet? Well, the internet's kind of, internet killed
Yeah.
the
Actually,
newspaper
the
star.
internet got real famous in '94.
It did, but it wasn't famous where I was because I was back in the woods. But
Oh.
it showed up in 2000 with a, hello, I'm the internet. I'm here to take your job. So they took over, and a hostile dragged me away from the newspaper business into door-to-door sales, only because I needed money, and I thought that was a good way to make money. Now, I will recommend this. If you're going into sales for money, stop. No more. Go into sales because you care about the transaction, not just trying to grab a buck. It shows through after a while. So your motives have to be right. When you're selling, you've got to take care of your customer. You've got to nurture that idea, because if you're there to grab a buck, wrong answer. Jeff with a G.
Yes,
You're
sir.
from New York.
New York, yes.
Yes, you got the authentic accent. You could be an intimidating source if you were sitting under the naked light bulb in your interrogation room from somewhere in the
You
Bronx.
sounded Russian there for a
I
second.
know.
have
I've
no
got a lot of
idea.
Russian friends. I've got no experience with that, but I think New York has just got its own culture. I've been there twice, and so that
Why?
makes me a
Vladimir.
tourist.
Why did you go?
Well, first time my brother was driving this 18-wheeler, and I said, let's go to the city. And he's like, no, that's really not a good place to go.
What?
The
For
year
the
was
fun
19.
of it?
Yeah.
With
'cause
an
that's-
18-wheeler?
That's my kind
Are
of.
you- was
I
he-
wasn't driving. It didn't bother me a bit. I
And
was
how
just.
did he? So obviously he did
He's
it.
got a cab
He did it?
over Kenworth with 1,000,000 miles on this cab, and we got this trailer, and we're going through the Bronx. Every sign is graffiti. Every one of them. They didn't miss even one. They tagged. Those gangs are thorough. They tagged everybody. Then they had the cars on the side of the road burned out. They stole the batteries. They slashed the seats, put the lighter fluid to them, burned them after they took the tires. Very efficient.
Was this
I
the
really
80s?
This was the 80s. This
Thank
is
you.
during the
He's
the,
very
the Cook
animated.
years. KOCH. What's the guy's name?
Oh, Cardinal Cook, you mean?
Cardinal Cook. He was the mafia leader at the time. It
No,
was
no.
an absolute shambles. I mean, I don't hold back on my opinions.
Okay, well,
Wait,
We
Cardinal. What, Cardinal?
Cardinal Cook.
Wait, Cardinal Cook.
Mayor
was,
Cook.
He was. Oh no.
This is back in the day.
Okay, no. Mayor Dinkins was before Giuliani. Before Dinkins was Ed Koch.
Koch. K-O-C-H. That's it.
Not Cardinal Cook.
Not Cardinal Cook. Mayor Koch. K-O-C-H. That was the guy. He
Glad
was
we got
running
that
the
squared
show.
away.
It was an absolute sleaze pool.
How am I doing? That was his thing. How am
You're
I
not doing so great, Mr. Koch.
That name is.
I'm
it's
giving you a
too
lower
easy.
grade. Anyway, I was a newspaper reporter, went into sales because I believe that's the way I needed to fund my life. The year was it was kind of introduced to me in the late 90s. I went back into newspapers for a while, but in the late 90s, 98, I became a door-to-door Kirby vacuum salesman. So I was selling the vacuums. Now people say, "Oh no," but
They still do that,
you know,
by the way.
they I would say door-to-door is not the same that it used to be, because now people don't answer their door for any reason. Even if family and friends show up, they don't feel like it. They don't answer. They're always texting and saying, "This is what I want." They don't just knock on your door. We had to wear a tie. So the guys who were wearing ties, they showed up. Excuse me, Mrs. Jones. My name's John. I'm with the Kirby Vacuum Company. I know you don't need a vacuum today, or you would have called us. But my boss says if I can do a good job sweeping the most floors this week, he'll give me a ticket to Silver Dollar City. And just for taking a look and letting me sweep your floor today, you got a set of Ginsu steak knives. Hang on, I'll be right back. If they take the Ginsu steak knives, that's when it's good. It's the green light. I'm already on my way to the van to grab the box of the Kirby vacuum and set it down. Now, this is all good, and they say, well, I'm not going to buy anything. That's okay. You don't have to buy
We
anything.
should probably stop mentioning the
Under
name of the
no
company.
obligation.
What, you gave them
Yeah.
the Ginsu knives?
Yeah, they get a
with
gift.
no obligation.
Absolutely.
And how'd that work out?
That's the only way to get them to agree. If
You
you
could call
don't
that
hand
baiting,
them a
but-
gift, then there's no reason for them to say yes. Come on in.
Whoa.
That was
so,
the mindset.
So what was? I don't know if you're allowed to say this, but how much did what did
The
it cost?
knives?
Yeah, what did the knives cost? I mean,
I don't
for
know because
wholesale,
the
whatever.
boss bought
They
them.
probably yeah. That's one of those things where you got to spend money to make money that gives you an icebreaker
Yeah,
way
yeah.
in. Like
See, we'd retail these things really high, and we could negotiate a lot lower. And then the purchase price of the unit was so much lower that there was a huge amount of spread. Okay, the difference was enormous. You could make a
Markup.
living on the bottom price we would sell them for, a good living. We were paid $50 if we sold them for bottom price, and we could have our pick if it went above that. Our money was our money after that.
And how long did you do it?
So I was in there about 9 months.
And how'd you do?
About the term of a pregnancy, and I gave birth to reality at the end of that 9 months.
What did reality tell you?
The reality was my wife had birthed our firstborn son, and I needed to find a more stable way to bring in money. Some weeks were good, some weeks were not good. So we're talking really high and really low difference on your income, but you have to maintain an enthusiastic attitude. We didn't believe in the going in with a card in advance called a lead,
Right.
because the leads were for the weak. We were the really strong people that would go out in the rural areas where people hadn't even seen anybody for salesmen, and we'd go out there, knock on their door, sweep their floor, knock on doors and sweeping floors. And we would pick our
Yeah,
own.
you can shampoo carpets now with them.
Yeah, we did that too. We would pick our own based on what we'd see in the driveway. We'd see a handicap. That's a call. Come on, get me.
Can you imagine door-to-door salesman in the age of COVID?
There's the
Ouch.
Zoom to Zoom salesman.
This is door-to-door salesman in the age of COVID. I'm going to maintain 6 feet of distance from you at all times, ma'am. I know you don't know me. I know you're very surprised to see me today, but I've got to say your safety is my very, very highest priority. My safety, too. We're responsible for each other's safety here. I'd advise you to sign this agreement electronically. It's on my phone, but don't touch the phone. It'll be that I won't touch you and you won't touch me, but you will be sending me the money on Venmo or Cash App or PayPal. What do you got, ma'am?
Do you have
Be
an
weird, wouldn't it?
outdoor outlet so I can demonstrate by vacuuming your lawn?
I know. It'd be so weird.
But
It's like,
how do
I
you-
know it's
do you
unsafe
do
for me to, 6 feet of, I don't know.
That would be rough.
I'll show you virtually. You can watch this video. To me, I cannot believe people have to watch a video to go to school and church. That's ironic because the whole interaction of learning and in getting along. For church, for me, I don't go to church in the COVID age. I went to church pre-COVID. I'm a pre-COVID believer.
And how about present COVID?
It'd be kind of like pre-trib, post-trib, mid-trib.
Okay, so
I feel like
you're mid-COVID right now. So what do you do?
I'm no longer attending a church service.
So what are you doing?
I get a little more sleep on Sunday.
Now, do you do this because you're afraid of getting sick? Because
Oh no, I'm
yeah.
not afraid. People could cough on me all day. I'd be good with that. I'm fine.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
so
fearful.
why'd you
Because
stop?
the experience was totally altered. It took it away from interaction to distancing and masking. That doesn't feel like church. Church for me is an experience. It's not sit down, listen to the service, and walk out because we can't touch you and we can't.
It's not
I don't
like
do
that,
it that
though.
way. It
It's-
is at my church.
Is it at your
Lukewarm.
Our
church?
church shall not be named.
Lukewarm gets spewed out of the mouth.
I will not name my church, but it's a big church, and it's not far from here. And
I,
I'm not going to go to that church
You should come to my
under
church.
those conditions.
I mean, you have to wear masks and stuff.
I'm
and
not
you have
going to
social
church in a
distance.
mask. I'm not socially distancing at church. I'm good not going to church.
I am going to church with social distancing down in Branson. Can I say the name of the church?
Yeah.
Okay, may I? Okay, Woodland Hills Church. And
Been there.
Pastor Ted Cunningham.
Yeah, great
and
guy.
you know what? Honestly, it's good. Thank you.
Awesome guy.
I'm glad you like him. But
Yes,
yeah,
isn't
he's
that
awesome.
nice? You don't want to get on my bad side.
'Cause you got a cowboy look there, and I don't.
Yeah,
mess with
be
cowboys.
careful. This guy's pretty intense.
I mean, I'm a suburb. I call myself a New Yorker, but full disclosure, I grew up in a country club in New Jersey, so
Okay,
I'm kind of
yeah,
a
you're
lightweight with it.
softy.
I like to. I'm a pretender to any
That's
type
okay.
of macho
Hoboken.
stuff. Yeah, Hoboken. No, Hoboken. Come on,
Hoboken.
Frank Sinatra. That's the tough. Those guys are tough out there. No, I'm Ramsey, North Bergen County. If you know anything about North Bergen County, it's one of the wealthiest counties.
Beautiful in North Jersey.
Yeah, yeah, and but we are not. We're like those guys in Antifa. We hang
It's
out
beautiful in
Mom
South
and Dad's
Jersey.
basement, and we're just like, I could just chill, and I was going to be a knucklehead. Anyway, that's a whole
Doing this door-to-door thing, it's kind of like when you go to church, you want it to be an experience. I want it to be an experience. I don't always get what I want, but when my experience of church becomes something different, my experience at church is too distracting. I'm a very observant person. I'm a very energetic person, and I'm very distracted by traditional church anyway. Add COVID to the mix, it's like me on caffeine. It won't work. I'm too jumpy for sedated church.
OCD.
Yes, this old distance thing. I'm a hugger. I'm not going there. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to stand away, being awkward, wanting to give somebody a hug or a handshake. I'm just not going to play around like that.
Well, you know, Johnny, my wife and I are
This could be almost
we're
therapeutic.
COVID survivors. Our daughter's at Alabama. We're University of Alabama junior, and she has maybe one or two of her classes are actually in person right now, and that's because they're like labs. She's pre-med, and guess what? She was just diagnosed with COVID, and so she's in her room. But it's not much different for her, strangely enough, because she's only missing like one or two classes.
Yeah,
a week.
yeah, right.
So it's actually okay.
Yeah.
She's getting it out of the way. She feels pretty well. You know, she's a kid,
Good.
19, so she's
Yeah.
doing a lot better than us. But it's obviously crazy. But we're hoping that Bama gets to play football because
Oh,
there's only going to be about 8 teams, and they have a good chance
Yeah,
of
I
winning.
know. It's hard to keep the sports theme alive and a
Wow.
lot of activities. I'm concerned
Yeah.
about that. I know that we're talking about door to door, and it's hard to go door to door and meet people, and especially in today's world. If you were trying to approach somebody in a political year like this one, it was hard for candidates to come door to door. One of the candidates that I was working with decided that he wasn't going to knock on doors anymore. He's just going to leave a door hanger because it's just too intrusive and
Right.
people aren't answering the doors.
No way.
They're not answering the doors. They would never answer a door for a stranger. So back in the day when I was doing this, we would get in a van, drive the back roads, put on our ties, jump out, do our pitch, go back and forth. Everybody got a turn. One time we stopped at a big sign that said, there wasn't a stop, it just said, "Beware, guard dog on duty." The driver's so funny. He's like, "Who wants that one?" And I go, "I'll take it."
No.
And he
What
goes, "I'm
happened?
just kidding." I go, "No, I'll take it." And I'm whipping the door open because I got to show these guys I'm the man. So I walk out there to that door, and it's this Rottweiler, he's probably a 550-pounder, coming at me full speed ahead, unfettered, unchained. He's ready for me. Well, I'm ready for him
Uh-oh.
because I don't do anything. I'm Helen Keller now.
What?
Can I say that? She won't see it or hear it. So I'm blind and deaf to this.
Wow.
Yeah, I said that. She's not going to hear it.
Ignorance is bliss.
That's right. I ignored this monster. He lunges me full throttle
I'm gonna have to give you a
midair.
Ritalin or something.
He
What?
turns away because I don't do
Jeez.
the flinch. See, trained guard dogs are always ready for the response. They grab your arm because everybody does this in training. So you don't walk up to a guard dog with your arm up. That's stupid. He's going to take you down. I just walked, steady pace, eyes straight ahead. He jumped up. I could feel his breath. He turned away because his training said this guy's not responding. So I keep walking. The guard dog regroups. He comes back. He lunges again, this time a little less excited, and turns away. And the third one's more of a formality. He kind of barely gets off the one paw, and
Weak link.
he runs. I can see him out of the corner of my eye. He's running away like, I can't deal with this. I'm on the front porch. The lady of the house shows up, white as a sheet. Are you okay? She'd never seen anybody on her porch. I said, I'm fine. Your dog's a little embarrassed. I'm okay. Inside, I was jello. I couldn't handle this. I was so scared, but I couldn't show the fear. If I did, that dog would be on me. So I just walked away. I said, you don't want to buy an overpriced vacuum today, do you? I just trashed the approach. She goes, no. I said, you have a great day. And I walked back to the van just like the dog couldn't do anything with me at that point because I'm walking confidently back to the van. The boys in the van were so impressed. We got a great story. I didn't get a good sale, but I got a story.
No
I've been
words.
I've been bit 3 times by dogs walking up to doors.
What was your favorite?
Favorite bite?
Yeah.
Well, the least favorite. The least favorite was the Labrador that wanted to do things to me that were immoral.
Oh my goodness.
That Labrador was not right. But this Labrador's owner enjoyed the show. Well, I
Thought it was hilarious.
As soon as the owner left the eye contact, I punched that thing in the snout as hard as I could, open fist. That dog thought it was a come on. This dog was really ready for me. I was so violated.
this
I had to go and pray that night.
Oh, this is Jeffrey Epstein territory. I'm getting nervous.
Whoa.
Anyway,
Wow.
This is
the
scary.
best bite. You've
You
got to hear
guys are
this.
killing me today.
This is a door-to-door
Lord have
sale.
mercy.
Listen, I don't know these people.
Who
Here,
wants this?
This is stereotypical
is-
cowboy.
I don't think I ever
Yeah,
want you
you
to be
don't-
live
I am
again. This
intimidated.
is nuts.
It doesn't matter if I'm live. I'll
Can't
get
edit it.
Kidding me?
No, you're unfiltered. This is it.
This is
Johnny
yeah.
Rooster meets. What are we doing here? Hey, there's the king right there.
Suburban wannabe
This
city boy.
is so
I-
cool.
like, what?
This is so cool because
What the
all right,
heck?
the guy is he's ready for me.
Hello,
The
Dr.
first one that came out, the dog ran, hit the door, kept running, bit me, and kept on going. It's all in one motion. I'm like, wow.
What'd you do?
I squared off. I'm ready for the dog. It's a small dog. I was ready for an object, something.
Yorkie? A Yorkie?
No, actually, it was a mixed breed. So I turned on him. I looked at him. I'm ready. And then the owner came and rescued the dog. That's the way I see it.
Was this door to door?
This was door to door.
Or
This
did you
is-
say doe to doe?
Doe to doe. This was the door-to-door sales experience. I want to encourage everybody out there to try something unusual in their life. Maybe not door-to-door, but something outside their comfort zone. To me, when I worked door-to-door, I learned a lot about how to approach people. And I've had a lot of fun with this today.
Dennis
Yeah,
Anderson
there
says,
com-
run,
comments?
Matt, run.
Run, Matt, run. Yeah. I didn't put on the watch party today. I should have. It
Oh,
was
man.
live. I wanted to. I like
If
the
we
live
don't get
experience.
emails about this show, I'd be very surprised.
What I enjoy about this experience, especially live, is that we have an opportunity here in this country, and especially in Plaza Towers, to communicate to the public things that they don't normally hear.
Right.
I mean, we hear a lot of stuff kind of repeated. You don't hear this stuff every day. I mean, this is
I have never heard
this
this.
is Howard
I
Stern.
was going to say, you probably, that you don't hear this even in life every day.
No, you don't.
I'm in
So-
shock.
but this is just one
Unless you're on a
glimpse.
sailboat.
It's one glimpse of a man who's gone door to door willingly and made his living doing that. As we would leave the house, somebody would
For
say,
9 months.
when I, yes, and I did door to door again and again. I did it 3 different sessions. This is one session of door to door.
I used to sell pots and pans, a certain brand of pots and
Did you
pans.
really?
Yeah, it was not fun.
Did you go door to door?
Yeah.
Residential?
Yeah, well, it wasn't exactly door to door. I lived in the second poorest county in the whole entire state of Missouri, and set these appointments where I would go and do
Okay.
cooking shows in people's houses
my
and try to sell them
gosh.
$1,500 to $5,000 sets of pots and pans.
Oh, I feel for you. I
and you know what?
understand.
That is pretty difficult whenever All right,
I
so
recommend.
don't do it if you need the money. Don't do it.
True, I needed the money. Yes.
Seriously.
I know. I know.
Otherwise,
it's such
you're
a
going to be
downer.
so stressed out.
Jeff,
Why
you
else
gotta
would you do
realize,
it?
Well, true. If you need the money and you are hanging on that sale, you are going to have something conveyed to the audience, and you want to not do that. You want to take care of your customer.
Right.
Who sells door to door for any other reason than they need
Well,
the money?
I mean, look. I mean,
For
all
the
right.
fun
That's a
of
good
it?
point. That's
I
a
mean,
good
the
point.
So
dog
what I'm
stories?
saying is
Kidding me?
to me, door-to-door salesman is like gambling.
Okay.
Like you could make like $1,000 one day,
Yeah.
but if you depend on that money,
How is Happy Hour going to top this? What's
Yeah.
going to happen here?
we're gonna
We got
see.
the manager. We got the owner right here.
We got that's
You
Dr.
can
Paul
why
Collins,
is he
the founder of
shaking his
Axiom.
head?
It doesn't get
But
any
it's time
better.
for us to get out of here because we got to set up for.
You're going to close the door on me?
I have to. I got to set up for.
They're
Dr.
slamming
Paul
the door
Nancy.
in my face. This is what I want you guys to hear before we wrap it up. Please, if you are doing something outside your comfort zone, continue to do it with the integrity that it deserves. Because really, don't just slam doors and say, I need $1. I got to get this done. Try to help people. It's a big experience being out of your comfort zone. I'm a better man for it. I'm stronger for it. But don't manipulate. That's the lesson.
I can't sell stuff if I don't believe in it.
I'm true. I'm with you. I couldn't continue, Jeff, because I couldn't. The integrity wasn't there.
The
So-
dogs were, though.
I'd like
The
to
dogs were there. They were at my heels.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today on the Morning Mouth.
This
with
is Johnny Rooster.
and Pastor Matt.
And Jeff
And we'll
with a J. Totally shake. I have no idea.
We'll
We are
see you guys
Shaken
next
but not
week.
destroyed.
Same time, same channel. We'll
God-
see you there.
God bless America.
Bye.